Well, good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all, those of you here and online, to this Animas County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 16, 2025. It is 9 a.m. This meeting is being called to order. Please rise for an invocation by Commissioner Lucero, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Tony Haas.
Lord, in this busy, joyful season, grant us a spirit of peace and unity. May our discussions be guided by grace and understanding, and we believe that you're inspired to spread hope and goodwill to all. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners, roll call. Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioner Hess.
Here.
Commissioner Sewer.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez.
I am here. Approval of the agenda. Mr. Dorncamp, do you have any changes to the agenda?
Commissioners have asked the board to remove two items, item 9A and 9B.
Thank you, Mr. Dorncamp. Any discussion, commissioners? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda with the removal of items 9A and 9B.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Sewer.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. Thank you. On section 2, we don't have any minutes. We're going to move to 3, reading of correspondence, commission and community reports. Commissioner Lucero, would you like to go first?
Sure. On the 9th of December, there was a public meeting with the Department of Army to get an update on, it was at the college, to get an update on the enhanced mission training for the Phoenix Canyon Maneuver Site. And the purpose of this was to modernize and enhance training capabilities out there, which will take place this next year. Also on December the 12th, I attended the Community Wildfire Protection Plan meeting at the Morel School. The meeting was to discuss ways to reduce wildfire risk to our communities. They had a few community meetings that were attended by fellow commissioners. And yesterday on the 15th, I attended the OPI meeting in Mahana and kind of discussed projected updates on upcoming meetings and for financials for the year. So with that, that's my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Lucero. Commissioner Haas.
On the 8th of December, I attended the Seaport Region 19, Region 19 meeting. On your behalf, I'm the alternate.
Thank you, Commissioner Haas.
And primary reason for the meeting was to approve letters of acknowledgement, and 3 letters were supported. One of the letters from Terry Schriever and Power Live was a letter of acknowledgement for the infrastructure gap recovery, case management, Adams, Denver, Jefferson County, reimbursed through Medicare, and they needed seed money for the workforce development. Presentations were also an item on the agenda. There were 4 presentations, one from Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. That dealt with Fort Lyons and 200 individuals that reside there. The Fort Lyons structure needs infrastructure stabilization, fire alarms, doors, breakers, HVAC, everything. It's in dire need of some help there. Crossroads, Rob Archuleta did a presentation and talking about Otero County and their overdose deaths. 52.9 individuals out of 100,000 deaths, so they lead the state right now in opioid deaths. Otero County Health Department, they're in dire need of some support. They need $225,000 just to keep their doors open. Then also on the 8th, I attended Unified Wolf Coalition. The focus of the meeting revolved around the governor's overreach. The Wildlife Commission is a Type 1 commission, and it has the right to hire and fire, and the governor should not be doing that. December meeting was to identify the wildfire commission rules and regs around the aspect of hiring and firing and appointments and duties to avoid the improper use of authority. And it was interesting to find out in this meeting that wolf lethal permits to take a wolf that's chronically depredating, it takes 14 signatures. And that's for DNR staff. That's not for when it's reported by CPW and then has to go through that chain, or if it's reported by an individual, then he reports it to the CPW individual, and it has to go through the same chain. And that's before the 3 and 30. And the 3 and 30 means there has to be, to define chronic depredation, there has to be 3 chronic depredations in a 30-day period. And if there are only 2 this month, and then there's 1 next month, and 2, that doesn't count. It has to happen in the same month. Crazy the way they do that. Then on the 9th of December, like Commissioner Lucero said, it attended the PCMS, the Pinion Canyon Maneuver Site Advanced Mission Training. They're talking about laser technology, expanding the ceiling so that other planes don't get hurt during their laser training. And they're going to stay within the boundary of the existing footprint. Another thing they talked about was moving the pipeline to the exterior on the west side, still inside their footprint, but move the gas pipeline, Kinder Morgan pipeline, so that they can fully utilize what they have. In conversations we've had earlier, I've been supportive doing that, moving that after talking to our constituents, because I don't want to be that commissioner that justifies the need to expand. If they can't operate on what they have, then they're going to have to find some to do that, is the narrative that we're hearing. Then on the 11th, Colorado Department of Ag and the Colorado Counties Incorporated had a meeting, and Dustin Shiflett was there. He's the non-lethal wolf expert. He gave a presentation on carcass management, and the primary reason that wolves return back to the same ranch over and over is if they don't dispose of that carcass. And they had the good, better, and the best presentation. It's good to relocate. It's better if they bury, and it's best if they actually remove it from the ranch altogether and take it to an outside pit to be buried. Let's see here. Then on the 12th, CCI had a non-steering committee meeting, voted on 2 letters to send to the governor regarding Housing Coalition and Human Services. And we reviewed renewable energy siting, and we had presentations from Emily Haddo from CDOT, and they have 43 legislative cleanup bills that they're introducing this year just through CDOT. And they have another bill that's a proposed ballot measure, and this is called Initiative 175. And what this would do was, and you're going to be interested in this, Mr. Dorncamp, they would take from HUTF funds to fix their state highways. The primary concern is we as counties use those HUTF funds to manage our county roads, and if the funds are pulled out of HUTF for state highway, then how's that going to affect counties? Always something. And that's the end of my report, sir.
Thank you so much, Commissioners. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
wait a minute. 1 minute.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Yield the floor back to you, sir.
Yes, in Kim, we had our community wildfire protection plan, Penny Beaver, and the Colorado State Forest Service with the NRCS, Comanche Grassland representatives, PWP, Firewise, communities, Trinidad Fire and Spanish Peak Fire were all there to do the presentation, and they did a fantastic job of getting the information out. And by doing this, it qualifies us for grants. If we hadn't done this, there wouldn't have been grants available for individuals that, for instance, they need help putting hardy board or a metal roof on their house to meet the requirements. There's going to be a grants available to help with that. And by the community doing this, by the Los Animas County doing this, then it makes it available for those individuals to receive that help. And that was important information. And
yes, sir.
I needed to get that out there. Thank you for the news.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Since I was absent last meeting, I want to personally welcome you, Mr. Kalkowski, to the emergency management position, and the team of San Luis County welcomes the opportunity to work together to enhance exactly what Commissioner Tony was talking about, the advocacy when it comes to fires, when it comes to preparedness, and anything emergency management. So we look forward to working with you, sir. And before I start my report, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Usually the past board would start it up at this point in time, and I'm going to put that out there. Just wish all of you a Merry Christmas with a song, but we're not going to do that today. I think our voices would go on, but certainly as we go through and say goodbye to 2025, we look forward to 2026 and see what's going to bring our way in the sense of legislative measures. So may all of you enjoy that Christmas holiday and the New Year in a safe, secure, with family and friends. One of the big meetings that we had, I attended, we were at the CCI conference in Denver, and there was another meeting that started the following day for the National Association of Counties in Texas, which I really wanted to make, but it was too close of the board of directors met in Texas, and definitely the agenda, I was able to attend that meeting online, which one of the bigger advocacy processes that NACO put in place, the agenda was pretty robust, and but I really want to give a shout out to the federal delegation for working in a bipartisan manner to secure the Rural Schools Reauthorization Act of 2025. This particular act, this bipartisan legislation, restores funding to more than 700 counties across 41 states, and was approved by the U.S. House of Representatives and previously cleared by the U.S. Senate by a unanimous consent on June 18th. So basically what this does, the passage of Secure Schools Reauthorization Act is a major win for counties and a milestone in advancing counties and policy priorities. NACO Executive Director Matt Chase gave a pretty robust report on exactly the priorities of NACO, and as the National Legislative Conference is getting ready to take place in a couple of months, we'll be at the table congratulating hopefully the legislative individuals from NACO that carry this lobbying and advocacy on behalf of the rural schools. Another place that we talked about was the reauthorization of PILT, how NACO gets behind the payment in lieu of taxes, this national legislation at the federal level. Such an important piece of legislation because that provides funding for counties like Los Animas County and to maintain roads, to do all the work that is necessary. So PILT, we requested, and I believe it has been voted and passed by both the House and the Senate. PILT has been approved. I believe that is where we stand, and so definitely the opportunity to work with NACO has been tremendous. And the one of the other items that I don't really want to elaborate too much on, but this had to do, one of the bills that was presented to us that NACO is supporting, changing the scope timeline and requirements for environmental assessment and impact statements in this bill prevents the federal government from rescinding or reopening environmental reviews for projects that have already received a finalized environmental review. This is the NEPA process that is underway, and that was one of the conversations that we had at the NACO Board of Directors. And it sets clear, actionable deadlines for agencies to complete reviews, limits the scope and timeline of judicial review and legal challenge to the NEPA process, expands the use of categorical exclusions, clarifies that the use of federal funds alone does not qualify as a major federal action to trigger NEPA review, reduces duplicative state, federal, and tribal environment reviews of the same project, allows agencies to reuse previously conducted NEPA reviews for projects that are substantially the same, or modifying the existing reviews for the project. NACO's agenda was, once again, I'm going to invite if anybody's interested in going and look at all the priorities that the Board of Directors, which has been an honor. I'm on my 5th year at the NACO Association, serving us as a board for, on behalf of the state of Colorado. Go to NACO.org, NACO.org, and you'll see all the priorities that are being worked on. And the last comment that basically was made by NACO is Executive Director, very inviting all of us to consider the procurement opportunities through the NACO Association. They're now managing billions of dollars in procurement throughout the United States. So hopefully the pricing through some of those contractual agreements and are going to be providing more savings for counties. So procurement is one of them. The other one, of course, is going to be the insurance through their carriers, medical insurance, property insurance. So that's going to be one of the things that as I get an opportunity, we're going to be working with the NACO representative to see if there are opportunities for Los Animas County to join that organization under the medical provisions, the property insurance provisions. So I just wanted to highlight that as one of the major updates from my report. So, Commissioners, now we'll move on with our agenda to the next item. Elected officials update. I'm going to, since we have 2 of our elected officials in the room, if you would like to provide an update, any one of you, County Treasurer and County Assessor.
Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas. I just got back from my Colorado Assessors Association conference at the beginning of the month, and as the wheels turn, we are prepping for 2026 and bracing ourselves for what hopefully will not be a complete disaster and rebuild of the assessment system again. We are a little leery, seeing as how it is the governor's last term, and he is a lame duck, and we've been told he's the lamest of the lame ducks. So we are anxious to see what's going to come out of the governor's office and what bills are coming towards us. Currently, we have 3. One is a cleanup bill from the Assessors Association to clean up language, timelines, dates, things of that nature from previous special sessions in 2023 and 2024. We also are looking at 2 bills that could affect planning and zoning in counties. There is one bill that they're calling the split lot bill, which would allow people to split their lots in half, and you would be able to build a accessory dwelling unit on the back half or front half of your lot. The only stipulation at this time is it would have to be smaller than the original existing structure. We are trying to get our heads wrapped around it because that would change how we value things. My question to our lobbyists and to those proposing it was, what about infrastructure? So they are looking at having a population requirement in that bill. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one. So hopefully rural Colorado will not have to deal with that. Because as we all know, our infrastructure is not the best. We don't have the water, the power, the systems to be splitting lots in half. The next one is allowing people to essentially do the same, but you would be renting out a dwelling in the back. My concern, because we have a lot of 35, 45 acre ranchettes, that we do not allow them to split at this time through our planning and zoning. How is that going to affect? We allow them, I believe, to put one extra house on it, depending on their rules and regulations within those subdivisions, but there seems to be some more overreach where they want more state control and they want to take that control away from the local government. So as assessors, we're trying to figure out how we can fight this fight as far as assessment goes and tracking all of that. The biggest conversation we had is we are about to embark on the first ever decoupling of our assessment rates, which everybody's heard me talk about. We will be sending out tax bills after January that we as an assessors association, the Department of Taxation, we've reached out to DOLA and DORA. We do not know how we're going to explain to our constituents the new look on their tax bill. They are not going to be able to figure it out on their own because there will no longer be assessment rates or assessed values printed on a tax bill. Those values have been on a tax bill for the previous 80 years. Those are going away per state statute. You are going to have an assessment column, or I should say a tax column for school districts and one for all other entities and local government entities. They're going to have two different assessment rates, therefore they're going to have two different values, two different tax amounts. I want the public to know and the board to know that we will be seeing taxes increase because of this decoupling from House Bill 24-1001 from the Senate, from the special session we had in 2024. All residential properties within your school districts, those values, the house value, will be assessed at a higher assessment rate for school districts. The intent was to have schools more locally funded. Well, currently 50% more or less of your tax bill funds your school districts. Now we are seeing an increase in that assessment rate, therefore that means an increase in your tax bill. All other entities will receive a lower assessment rate on the residents only, so there's a possibility we could see a slight decline in coming years in revenues to our fire districts, our other our conservation districts, our health districts, our ambulance districts, things of that nature. We're trying, as a collective group, we think we're highly intelligent people, or somewhat intelligent people, trying to figure out how to explain this language and make it digestible to our constituents. We are coming up short-handed, empty, because we as assessors are trying to figure it out ourselves. So as soon as somebody, hopefully a lot smarter than me, comes up with some language, some draft of how we can explain this to our constituents, we will be getting that out there and sharing that to the best of our ability.
So thank you for that. One of the comments that has been basically talked about is on these ADUs. Say, there is already an existing residence in that place built in 1900.
Correct.
The infrastructure was not, we had this conversation a bit to make perhaps as it goes through the legislative process to oppose that and simply say that for properties that were built prior to, and I don't know what year that's going to be going back to the assessor, that's going to be going back to the county surveyors, but you're absolutely correct. The infrastructure, if there's a house built in the late 1800s or early 1900s, even the sewage perspective of that line is not capable, even if you have 3,000 square foot dwelling and you're going to build a 2,000 square foot dwelling, and they're basically saying, well, between the entire property, 12 people could
use that. And when I had my 10 minutes to speak, my question was, we've seen it here around our courthouse. We still had clay piping that had to be fixed. Most of our city has clay piping. How are we going to hook to that? And unfortunately, the metro area, they don't have to deal with that, but rural Colorado does. And our question was, who's going to pick up the expense of all of this rebuild for infrastructure when we have to do these AUDs?
Electric infrastructure would be another one that we need to think about. How are we going to to support that?
How do we support that?
Well, keep us posted, simply the idea that it could, and that is private property, and the CML, Colorado Municipal League is gonna have an opportunity to meet with the.
Hopefully drafters and legislative
That's
committee
correct,
and
and
council.
the communities are gonna have to voice their opinion and perspective. And it goes back to one of the proposals that was early on the table, subdivisions that have been there for 50, 70 years, now let the legislature decide how, and I think that's basically, in a sense, doing away with us.
With local authorities,
That is correct.
and it's not right.
So,
But I did want to let you all know you will possibly and more than likely be getting phone calls when people start receiving their tax bills.
well, and that is going to be such a huge disservice. It's one of those when you're not going to be able to see how your tax
Or
structure
calculate the math.
is broken out. I mean, we are going to get a lot of phone calls, but certainly.
And it's not at the local level, this is all coming from legislation.
You know, the lack of transparency, in my opinion, what they're doing right here is they're hiding the fact that it was an increase, and when they had the special session, they said it was going to be a decrease.
Correct.
Right.
It wasn't increased.
Building on the split lots, where they talk about split lots,
Correct.
how's it gonna affect the 35-acre subdivision?
That's what I asked. Nobody, I got blank looks. They haven't, I don't think they've run through that because I explained to them in most of your rural counties, they have their own planning and zoning regulations, rules that we have to abide by. Because currently we don't allow them to split that 35-acre
35-acre lots are protected through the state.
through the state. That all could be subject to change.
Which, by the way, if there's a new legislation, that statutory protection would go away by the new piece of legislation, depending on how it is affected. Which is, by the way, we had a county that attempted to bring legislation, and I can tell you that through CCI, it didn't get any support.
Any traction?
No, it did not. So keep us posted.
I will.
And see where we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our treasurer, any updates? Thank you, ma'am, I really appreciate that. Clerk and recorder. Anyone from the sheriff's office? District attorney? And or coroner? Hearing that, we're going to go now to public comment. Mr. Berman, do we have anyone saying up for public comment?
No, it's,
Thank you, sir. Anyone online that wishes to address the Board of County Commissioners, you will have 3 minutes. If there's anyone online, to unmute or simply raise your hand, and you have 3 minutes to address this Board of County Commissioners. Hearing that, we do not have any items on section 7. 8, we're going to move to section 9. New business. We are going to go to 9C, consideration of resolution number 25035, adopting the mill levy. Mr. Thornkamp, please read that resolution.
Resolution, Board of County Commissioners, Los Animas County, Colorado, set mill levies for Los Animas County, Colorado for fiscal year 2026. Resolution number 25-035, a resolution levying general property taxes for the year 2024 to help defray the costs of government from Los Animas County, Colorado for the 2026 budget. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Los Animas County, Colorado adopted the annual budget in accordance with local government budget law on the 16th day of December 2025, and whereas the 2025 valuation of it by the Board of County Commissioners for all of Los Animas County only is certified by the county treasurers $440,950,360. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Animas County, Colorado, that for the purpose of meeting all general operating expenses of Los Animas County during the 2026 budget year, there is hereby levied a tax of mills as stated below upon each dollar of total valuation of assessment of taxable property within the county for the year 2026. Summary of funds for budget 2026. County General mill levy 5.822, contingent 1.350, capital expenditures of 1.450, DHS 1.750, a total of 9.372 mils. On a motion made and seconded, affirmative vote, this resolution is adopted on the 16th day of December 2025 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signatures.
Mr. Dorncamp, I should have mentioned this to you earlier, resolution levying general property taxes for the year. At the very beginning, on the first sentence, 2024, to help defray the cost. I mean, that, I believe, that year date is, I may be wrong, but I
It should be 25. It should be 2025. Yeah.
Okay, I was just of the impression that the taxable year was 2024, so that's how it's written.
That was my error.
Thank you. That's not an error. That's just simply that we're all human, and I really appreciate. So, given that, if you can just correct that to 2025. Commissioners, is there any discussion of this resolution? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve resolution number 25035, adopting the levy in that direction with the year and the first sentence to be 2025.
Second.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. Thank you. 90, consideration of resolution number 25-036, adopting the 2026 budget. Mr. Dorncamp, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, adopting the annual budget of Los Angeles County, Colorado for fiscal year 2026. Resolution number 25-036. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners vested with responsibility and authority to adopt an annual budget, setting forth the fiscal spending amounts for all offices, departments, boards, commissions, and agencies of Los Angeles County, financed in whole or in part with monies provided by this county. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners' compliance with Colorado State budget law has caused the preparation of the budget for fiscal year 2026, reflecting all anticipated revenues and expenditures necessary to meet the financial obligations of Los Angeles County for administration, operations, maintenance, and capital projects expected to be undertaken in fiscal year 2026. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners made available a draft of the 2026 annual budget on October 7, 2025, in conformance with CRS 29-1-407, at which time electors of Los Angeles County were afforded an opportunity to make comment on said proposed 2026 budget prior to its adoption. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, the 2026 budget submitted and summarized by fund and attached here to, and made a part hereof, is hereby approved and adopted as fiscal budget, as the fiscal budget for Los Angeles County, Colorado for the fiscal year 2026, being on January 1, 2026, and extended through December 31, 2026. But the 2026 fiscal budget hereby approved and adopted shall be signed by the Board of County Commissioners, shall be made a part of the public records of Los Angeles County, Colorado, through the Director of Finance and Budget Officer, is hereby directed to provide a copy of said 2026 fiscal budget to each elected official and department head of Los Angeles County. On motion made and second, and affirmative vote, this resolution is adopted on the 16th day of December 2025 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature.
Thank you, Mr. Dorncamp. Any discussion, commissioners? No discussion. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve resolution number 25-036, adopting the 2026 budget.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. 90, consideration of resolution 25-037, appropriating all funds for the 2026 budget. Mr. Dorncamp, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, appropriating sums of money to defer expenses for budget year 2026. Resolution number 25-037. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners adopted the annual budget for fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the state budget law. Whereas provisions have been made in said 2026 fiscal budget identifying anticipated revenues and amounts equal to or greater than the sums of proposed or expenditures set out in said 2026 fiscal budget. And whereas it is necessary the sums of money be appropriated from the anticipated revenues for each fund provided for in said 2026 fiscal budget to offset anticipated expenditures of such funds and spending agencies, printed as that term is defined in CRS 29-1-102, imprint within such funds during fiscal year 2026. And whereas such appropriation shall establish limits on expenditure for each fund, for each spending agency within a fund in which to carry out the operation of Los Animas County fiscal year 2026. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commission of Los Animas County, Colorado, that this resolution shall be known as appropriations resolution for fiscal year 2026 and hereby sets out spending limitations for the various funds of Los Animas County for spending agencies within such funds in the amounts and for the purposes set forth below for fiscal year 2026. County General Fund, County Commissioners, $22,833,690. Clerk of the Court, $581,674. Treasurer, Public Trustee, $378,855. Assessor, $561,802. Sheriff, $3,348,735. Coroner, $244,617. County General Fund, $27,949,373. Road and Bridge Fund, $7,595,096. Airport Fund, $867,230. Contingency, $2,088,297. Capital Expenditure, $4,853,630. Conservation Trust, Grant Lottery and Grant Fund, $648,645. Payment due of taxes, Grant Built, Imprint Fund, $2,482,253. Law Enforcement Assistant and DUI Fund, $10,632. Jail Bond Fund, $17,327. Justice Center and Jail Improvement Fund, $310,805. Human Services Grant Public Welfare Imprint Fund, $18,033,855. Total of all fund appropriations, $64,857,143. One motion made and seconded. Confirm the vote this resolution was adopted the 16th day of December 2025 by order of the Board of County Commission of Los Animas County, Colorado. Follow your signature.
Thank you. Any discussion on this particular item, Commissioner? I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve resolution number 25037, appropriating all funds for the 2026 budget.
Second.
Commissioner Sarah?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. And before we go to the next item, thank you, Finance Director and Administrator Bill Camp and all the staff that worked so hard on this, working the numbers on the budget. And one of the very, very big stressors as the economies throughout the state, we have seen so many sister counties going through furloughs and layoffs. Our county, through the diligence and fiscal prudency, did not have such. And so if we may have a reduction, we don't know exactly what the revenue forecast is looking to be less than it has been, but yet we have been able to manage that. So for all of that, Mr. Erdogan, thank you for also as well working within your department to fiscally maintain, even with all the limitations and challenges that we have, both from the state and the federal government. So my sincere thanks, our sincere thanks to all of you for working so hard on this budget item. So on that, we're going to go to 9F, consideration of 2026 legal services agreement.
We should wait for your consideration is legal services.
Thank you. Thank you once again. I really appreciate. I believe that legal counsel is not only super important for this group, but this is well drafted. I don't have any questions, commissioners. I'll go to the floor. Should there be any questions on this particular agreement?
No questions. I'm glad Mom sits right here. Keeps that stick out.
They say behind the big board there is even a greater attorney, so we appreciate that. So hearing no other conversation, commissioners, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the 2026 legal services agreement.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. Thank you, and pleasure. So, 9F, consideration of farm lease agreement denial decision. Mr. Dornicamp.
Commissioners, at your prior meeting, the board at that time had denied his lease of our farm out there near the airport. And I brought it in front of the board again to perhaps reconsider that rescission. The direction was to use all the water that's available. We have 16 shares on the south side ditch and one of the tributaries. And it was brought to my attention that in a 5-year term, to use those 16 shares solely on the county's farm, that it really wouldn't provide whoever has the lease a long enough time frame to warrant the expense it would cause whoever receives this lease to work the property, because there's a spot where there used to be some farmland, I'll call it the southeast corner of the parcel of that area, to work that ground, get it productive, get it planted, get crops up. They may see a yield in the 3rd year or the 4th year of the term, and they would never be able to recoup their investment if they weren't able to extend that 5-year term, which is what we're going into, to a longer term. So it would be my concern is that if we don't rescind the denial, that perhaps we may not get anybody to lease that property, because it's not a prudent investment for anybody, in my opinion, to invest in a 5-year term. You won't be receiving a return on your investment on year 3, 4, 5, whatever you can propose. That's just my opinion.
And how many acres are down there? 87 to actually produce a crop on?
It's just in one corner, Commissioner. I would guess if it's 20 acres, that may be pushing it. But the entire property, I think, is probably around 380, and we've probably mined in there, because there's also, that's where the gravel pit, we probably mined and not reclaimed, I guess, maybe 60% of that.
So the proponent, whoever has the lease right now at this point in time, they would be amenable to using the water shares, as Commissioner Tony has says, on those 20 acres or less to actually get a crop.
At this time, the way that it was presented to the board at the last meeting, no, those waters could be used elsewhere. But it's wholly up to the board. Again, I serve at your pleasure, so if you want us to rebid it like have been discussed, making it clear that those waters would be used on the farm, we can do that.
And in water short years, I'm just trying to think, I agree with your sentiments. In water short years like we've had, it would be tough to get a crop established with just those 16 shares. And the last LACC diverted some of those waters to help raise the crop on the neighboring farm, correct?
I believe that's how they were used.
Let's see, is requesting that whatever excess water on 17 shares could be used in adjacent properties, if they choose not to farm those 20 acres that you mentioned are within county boundaries.
I'm not,
So, in a sense, you're basically, if I understand the property, is they want to use the water elsewhere.
correct.
What does that elsewhere mean? Is using the water on adjacent properties outside of,
It's whatever the water rules will permit them, whatever the water rules will permit them to use. It's not necessarily properly butts up against our, we face whatever the rules the water was allowed to divert where it allowed them to divert that water to be used elsewhere. Again, I serve the pleasure of the board, we've already got the revamped lease bid done, so where all the water will be used on the farm, but it's
In the particular water district, will be basically the monitoring body that would say, yeah, this water can be used by the regulations of that board in that district.
you know, in that ditch, yes, and I believe, I'm not an attorney, but you want special water attorney. My understanding is if you lease waters, which is what this would, in my opinion, be partially with this lease, then you can use those leased waters elsewhere. And I think as long as it's within the same neighborhood. I don't think you can divert it. Council, I don't think so.
Those 16 shares of water, I did a little research, and they're able to lease from other farmers also, so, and they do, this particular group, they do lease water from other farms, and 16 shares would cost right at $1,000. The bid that we have is what, 35, 38, something like that? So it's almost 3 times what the share of the water is. The reason for the denial the first time around was, I believe, my point of view, I can't speak for Commissioner Lucero, but I wanted to see the county's property taken care of, and I thought it would generate more income than what the water did. But when I did the research and found out that the water was actually worth about $1,000, and you're not going to get that kind of revenue off the 20 acres. I'm thinking, I went and looked, I think there's maybe 7 acres that would probably produce something down there, and you wouldn't generate enough income to bring in that $3,800. Just my point of view.
Yeah, my concern was I didn't want to get into a situation similar to our neighbors in Carroll County where they took the water and sent it up north and dried up the land, and there was no water to be able to establish just a cover crop. Would be my concern, but this is on a much smaller scale.
And it's
There
organic,
is, yeah, the property.
used
Yes, and I believe that, thank you, commissioners. The idea that the water is owned by the county, and the county would never sell those water rights in perpetuity. And even if there was a metropolitan urban area that would come and would like to transfer that water, the approval of that would be based with the Board of County Commissioners. That would, at this point in time, I don't know that the LACC would have the authority to sell that water. And that would be a question. Can the LACC then sell the water?
No.
Okay. Then my point, that's my point. So commissioners, any additional discussion on this particular issue? And or there is, if there is any clarification that may need to be additional information, we can always table this, take it to executive session, but certainly I'll go to the floor for a motion and or otherwise.
Commissioner, if I may,
Yes.
this question for council, if they deny the rescission, do they then have to approve the lease? So should I buy and this is a two-part?
I was just gonna bring that up. If right now, the only consideration is denial of the rescission. If they do vote to do so, they'll need to come back
Okay.
to be approved if they choose to do so.
Thank you for the clarification. And commissioners, back, this would only be approving the denial of the decision that took place at the last meeting.
To rescind.
To rescind the denial.
I'll move to rescind the farm lease agreement at this time.
And after further review, I would second that motion.
Commissioner,
Farm lease denied. Rescind the farm lease agreement denied. Accept or deny.
I move to
rescind the farm lease agreement denial at this time.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Sever,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. Consideration of 25-074 change order number 2 extending completion deadline. Mr. Dorian.
Commissioners, before you for your consideration is 25-074 change order number 2, extending the completion deadline for our paving project. The company will ask through many emails for them to take a look at the change order. It slipped past them, and so it's in front of you now. The original contract time was 5 p.m. October 31, 2025. With the change order, they requested at 5 p.m. November 21st, 2025. And a copy of their Indian United, the company that was the recipient of this project, their request was dated October 30th before the deadline. So I wanted to ask the board to approve this, and also ask the board to not penalize, as per our documents allow, the documents allow penalize this company, so they did make that request prior to their deadline. And weather cooperated with us, and we were able to get the payment done. So I ask the board to approve this.
Thank you, Mr. Dorian. So long as the documentation and communication was done prior to the expiration on November 21st, 2025, I personally have no objections. Commissioners?
Move to approve 25-074 change order 2 extending completion deadline.
Second.
Commissioner Sever,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. Line 9, consideration of 25C001 ADA EGD change order number 6. Mr. Dorian.
Commissioners, as part of our 88 project, 25-C001, a number of change orders have come in front of the board for approval. This is an additional. This is the one that's going to the water line that went from the basement of the courthouse underneath the alley and to our sprinkler system out in the park. There was a splice in there somewhere between the copper line coming out of the basement and a PVC line attached to it. And we've always had moisture in the basement. We had settling of the southeast corner of the south wing and the northwest corner of the same south wing that extended north. And our suspicion was pointing the finger at the city to have water line leaking up there on 2nd Street. We still don't know if that is the case. But when the contractors started excavating where sidewalks would be placed, you noticed that the water line was where they attached was leaking. This whole area out here was soaking wet. So they're going to replace that water line not with PVC, like the bid had indicated, but with 1.5-inch PEX line underneath the new retaining wall that's going to be constructed at the park, and put a, I think they call it stop and waste valve down there. What they call a valve that should have like a cross-free hydrant. And they're going to tee off there, and this was a request from our maintenance department, and go on the park side of the wall, down about where the stairs are, they go to that bench area there in the middle of the park, and come up into the wall with a hydrant there, not a hydrant, but a spigot. So that maintenance with a cover on a secure spigot with a key. It's that maintenance, if they need you to tie into that spigot and a hose somewhere there too. That's also going to have a stop and waste valve in it, and plus it'll also have a anti-called flow bag valve in it. So between all of this, and they're also going to run a conduit all the way underneath the alley to the far side of the wall, that they're going to run that PEX pipe through. So if we have issues with the PEX pipe, we can pull it out and push a needle in or another type of pipe through there without having to disturb all the work that they're still working on here in the alley. So I ask the board to approve this. We'll still have 10,000 and some change. $10,985.25 in that grant balance, and we'll hold on to that for future change orders, because I have no doubt we're going to set the pace.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that was going to be the next question, appropriation of funds and balance, so thank you for the clarification. Commissioners, any questions on this particular item?
Just a comment, we knew we were probably going to find something like that because it's been sitting there for 100 years. And where they tied PVC and the copper, I can't believe we didn't have more problems there because the reverse osmosis that would cause that to gum up, I can't believe it even flowed water.
Well, it was sopping wet all underneath this alley and back in the river.
Yeah, I walked through the contractor when they managed that condition and it was money up there. I was hoping to find a few gold bars. Would finance the project a little bit better, but any other conversation on this particular item, commissioners? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve 25C 001 ADA EGD change order number 6.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes, thank you. Consideration of OBCC 7046 treasurer purge delinquent taxes on mobile home accounts for $10,392.46. And we have the treasurer in the house. If there are any questions for her. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I came across this list. There's several old homes with over 8 years or so of delinquent taxes, and now they're not being assessed because of their under the $28,000 exemption. So this interest just keeps accumulating and accumulating, and it's not getting paid. So that's why I've asked that these get purged so we can get these off of the tax rolls.
And this was under the new legislation that passed in the last few years.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Any questions on this list and or directly for County Treasurer?
No.
Hearing no questions, I will entertain a motion.
To approve OBCC 746 treasurer purge of delinquent taxes on mobile home accounts for $10,392.46.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. 9K, consideration of certification of mill levies for all taxing entities within the San Luis County for fiscal year 2026. Finance Director Corey, I believe that, or Mr.
I'm
Durham.
going to defer to her if you're going to talk to me about it.
So this is the tax year of 2025, budget of 2026 for certification of levies and revenue. I'm going to start with school districts. School district, let's see, Trinidad School District 1, assessed valuation is $181,491,161. Levy is 20.641. Revenue is $3,746,159. Primero, School District 2, assessed valuation is $105,531,060. Levy is 18.472. Revenue is $1,949,370. Pony School District 3, assessed valuation $58,173,44. Mill levy is 31.501. Revenue is $1,832,424. Aguilar School District 6, assessed valuation is $54,924,374. Mill levy is 18.086. Revenue is $993,362. Branson School District 82, assessed valuation is $18,613,460. Mill levy is 31.616. Revenue is $588,483. Kim School District number 88, assessed valuation is $35,440,435. Mill levy is 28.120. Revenue is $996,585. And a total, let's see, total revenue for schools is $10,106,383. Let's see, next one I'm going to go to is County General, Los Animas County. Assessed valuation for general fund is $440,953,60. Levy is 5.822. Revenue is $2,567,213. Department of Human Services, Public Welfare, assessed valuation is $440,953,60. Mill levy is 1.750. Revenue is $771,663. Contingent fund, assessed valuation is $440,953,60. Mill levy is 0.350. Revenue is $154,333. Capital expenditure, assessed valuation is $440,953,60. Mill levy is 1.450. Revenue is $639,378. Total mill levy for Los Animas County is 9.372. Revenue is $4,132,587. Cities and towns. Town of Aguilar, assessed valuation is $3,442,324. Levy is 11.511. Revenue is $39,625. Town of Branson, assessed valuation is $541,209. Mill levy is 4.807. Revenue is $2,602. Town of Cokedale, assessed valuation is $811,000. Levy is 10.250. Revenue $8,313. Town of Canton, assessed valuation is $565,042. Levy is 15.265. Revenue is $8,625. Town of Starkville, assessed valuation is $1,380,266. Levy is 5.500. Revenue is $7,591. City of Trinidad, assessed valuation is $99,346,081. Levy is 17.579. Revenue is $1,746,405. Total revenue for cities and towns is $1,813,161. Special districts. Santa Fe Trail Ranch Metropolitan, assessed valuation is $7,177,200, no mill levy. Stone Ridge Metropolitan District 2, assessed valuation is $3,016,920, no mill levy. Fire districts. Fishers Peak Fire Protection, assessed valuation is $35,946,805. Mill levy is 5.720. Revenue is $205,616. Pony Fire Protection District, assessed valuation is $50,126,251. Levy is 4.000. Revenue is $200,505. Spanish Peak and Bon Carmel Fire Protection District, assessed valuation is $63,427,307. Mill levy is 3.950. Revenue is $250,538. Stonewall Fire Protection District, assessed valuation is $102,506,246. Mill levy is 2.459. Revenue is $252,063. Conservation District soils, Branson Chinchera District, assessed valuation is $30,019,979. Mill levy is 0.500. Revenue is $15,010. South Pueblo County Conservation District, assessed valuation is $2,033,850. No mill levy. Spanish Peak Purgatory River Conservation District, and mill assessed valuation is $126,394,770. Levy is 0.500. Revenue is $63,197. Upper Orfano Conservation District, assessed valuation is $2,257,560. Levy 0.500. Revenue $1,129. Total for conservation districts is revenue is $79,336. Then other, we have La Porta Business Improvement District, assessed valuation is $2,861,530. Levy is 8.920. Revenue $25,525. Los Animas County Health Service District, assessed valuation is $439,782,079. No mill levy. Purgatory River Water District is assessed valuation is $134,664,512. Levy is 3.500. Revenue is $471,326. Trinidad Ambulance District, assessed valuation $405,754,405. Levy is 2.907. Revenue is $1,179,528. Trinidad Urban Renewal, assessed valuation is $50,625,556. No mill levy. Valley Metropolitan District, assessed valuation is $14,558,706. Levy is 2.875. Revenue is $41,856. Total for other is $1,718,235. Let's see. Then we have our TIF, tax increment finance. For this, I'm going to say for Los Angeles County capital expenditure, assessed valuation is $475,423. Revenue is $689. Contingent fund, assessed valuation is $475,423. Revenue is $166. Our county general fund is assessed value is $475,423. Revenue is $2,768. Fishers Peak Fire Protection District, assessed valuation is $4,754. Revenue is $27. Pony School District 3, assessed valuation is $52,297. Revenue is $1,647. Department of Human Services, assessed valuation is $475,423. Revenue is $832. Purgatory River Water Conservation Trust District, assessed value is $142,627. Revenue is $499. Spanish Peak Purgatory River Conservation District, increment value is $57,051. Revenue is $28. Stone Ridge Metropolitan District 2, assessed valuation is $42,788. No revenue. Trinidad, City of Trinidad, value is $475,423. Revenue is $8,358. Trinidad School District 1, assessed value is $423,126. Revenue is $8,734. Trinidad Ambulance District, assessed valuation is $475,423. Revenue is $1,382. Valley Metropolitan District, assessed valuation is $33,280. Revenue is $95. That is all that will go to Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority for the tax increment. Any questions? Was everything okay, Jody? Is that okay?
Yes, sounding good. Okay. I just wanted to make a point of clarification. Even though Stone Ridge Metropolitan District Number 2 has not certified mill levy to the Los Angeles Board of County Commissioners, as the assessor, by statute, I have to apply the mill levy of 55 mills that has been on the books for 10 plus years because they are not in good standing with the state, with Dora-Dola, because there needs to be a Metropolitan Board reseated. So I still have to apply the 55 mills to all the properties within the Stone Ridge Metropolitan District, even though they do not certify a mill levy to the board.
And I really want to thank you for that because when obviously the conversation you and I have had is such that the mill levies has become a conversation throughout the community, especially for that particular district.
That is correct. So just as a point of clarification, it is not certified, the board will not certify it, but I as the assessor have to apply it to those tax bills within, and those properties within that metropolitan district boundary.
And are there revenues generated? If so,
They have been held in an account per the state of Colorado for probably 10 plus years that the treasurer has to hold.
so revenues are received and put in the account.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. And I have to thank Christy, we've been chasing down entities for the last week.
Your office was very helpful, so
Okay, you're very welcome.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other discussion on item 9K? Hearing that, I will entertain a motion.
I'm going to move to approve certification of mill levies for all taxing entities within Los Angeles County for fiscal year 2026.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes, thank you. Financial matters, once again, thank you, Finance Director Tolbert. That was poetic.
That's a good word. Thank you.
Consideration of payroll and bills for the first half of December 2025.
Okay.
Back to you, ma'am.
Sure, payroll as of December 15, 2025 was $277,754.28. Any questions on payroll?
No questions.
Invoices paid on December 16th and, December 10th, 2025, $271,372.03. I want to bring to your attention to where there was a permit that was paid for $24,000 and it was incorrect. So they couldn't refund us, we had to actually, they did give the money back to the customer, and then we had to actually mail back the $24,000 because the money went into our account. So this was just a refund back to a customer that, they paid it on paper online, so we had to send the $24,000 back, just to tell you on that one. And then, $14,922.82 was for 2025 tax statements for the treasurer to Master's Touch. If there's anything else you think I might have missed, that I would like to bring to your attention?
No additional questions from the commissioners. Any questions for Finance Director Tolbert? There are no questions. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve payroll and bills for the first half of December 2025.
Second.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. We come to section 11, executive session. The board will meet under CRS 246402-4B, confirming with the county attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions. Item A, hours, B, funding, and C, structure. At this time, I'm going to entertain a motion to suspend the regular Board of County Commissioners and enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes, and we're going to take a 5-minute recess.